But think about it. There are two major events in mankind's history that have facilitated our movement upwards out of the swamps and the jungles onto buildings that are 100 stories tall, into apartments and houses that are worth millions of dollars, where our lives are truly exceptional. And that is the wheel and electricity. The year was 2013, and I was standing at the stage at the annual meeting of the Association of Management Consulting Firms, which I was the president and CEO of, handing our Lifetime Achievement Award to Clayton Christensen, the very well-known Harvard professor. When he gave his acceptance speech, which was all about his area of expertise, disruptive business, I didn't know it at the time, but this was to become my area of expertise going forward, to the point that I now am here making this video and have made many videos and written about this topic. Because for me, disruptive business practices and leadership are the number one reason why we have the survival rate and the kind of life that is more comfortable than even our mothers and fathers had. So listen to this video and find out why this is so important, what you can do that is disruptive to both accelerate your business and make the life that you want happen. So I'm going to go back about 70 or 80 years and start the story of disruption then, because that's when it really became a concept. And not that we called it that, but that was what was going on after the Second World War. So let's start with Ray Kroc. People do not think about as being a disruptive leader, mostly because he dealt with hamburgers and not chips and bites. He was a failed businessman in his 50s, and he realized that, and he did not want to be that. So he had this product called multi-mixer, and he was trying to find a channel for it. And he came in contact with the McDonald brothers, and all things considered, he saw a great opportunity there for his multi-mixer. A small thought, not particularly world-shattering. They were interested, but not particularly excited about his next vision, which was a global franchise of McDonald's, of their restaurant, with all the things in place that needed it to be not only inexpensive, but clean and a great place to congregate for families. They were not that interested. They had a thriving business, they were making enough money, they had really fulfilled whatever small dreams they had. And Ray Kroc could have done the same. He could have left it alone and just gone on and probably died somewhat of a bitter man. Instead, he decided to fight. It was his last chance to prove himself, to prove he could do something on a world scale. And guess what? It cost him a lot to do that. A failed marriage that he called a holy acrimony. They departed from each other. His health was already bad. It got worse. But when he died, he left behind one of the major brands that has survived worldwide and only gotten bigger and stronger in the last 70, 80 years. And for that, he is remembered well, despite a movie that maybe did not put him in the best light. My next personality that I want to discuss is, in some ways, the master disruptor, and that's Jeff Bezos. And I don't think I even need to tell you what he achieved, but suffice it to say that Amazon completely, first of all, gutted out the traditional book-selling paradigm that we had been living with, which was inefficient, expensive, and not particularly global, and replaced it with the largest grossing retailer ever seen, Amazon. Now, his story is not dissimilar. He came from a fairly modest background when his mother remarried Mr. Bezos, where Mr. Bezos really inculcated in him the need to never let anything go unfixed that's broken, whatever that may be, a gardening tool, a mechanical tool, something you use in the kitchen, anything that's broken had to be fixed. That was a mindset that Jeff inherited. So besides being incredibly smart and driven, he became the first senior vice president at a Manhattan-based hedge fund, until the day he walked into his boss's office and asked to resign so he could go and follow his dream of taking advantage of the best entrepreneurial opportunity in his lifetime, as he put it. So he left and he started Amazon, and the rest is history. But again, we have to remember this man had two things in common with Ray Kroc. One was a simple beginning and the feeling that he had to leave something behind that was momentous, and unbridled intelligence and ambition and not letting go. He didn't suffer quite the way Ray Kroc did, but on the other hand, he also gave up a good portion of his life, 30 years, to something that could not have been easy to build. So this brings me now to 2013, about 20 years after Jeff Bezos started Amazon. That was the year I gave Clayton Christensen his award. And suffice it to say, I was not an early adopter or understander of his concept. It had already taken root. And even if Jeff Bezos didn't study with Clayton Christensen, certainly it was his writings and his thinkings that Jeff was probably learning from as he built Amazon. So in the midst of all of this wonderful things happening, and remember by this time we had LinkedIn, we had quite a number of Netflix had really proven that you can reinvent yourself or disrupt yourself and reinvent yourself twice. We also had some losers, two not very good, in fact I would say bad disruptive leaders, wannabes who just didn't have what they needed. They didn't have the mental or physical fortitude to do what had to be done. One of them is unfortunately a woman. Her name is Elizabeth Holmes. She's been in the press a lot recently because she was sentenced to prison for fraud and for financial and information problems that or lies that she had propagated. She had tunnel vision, and I always warn against tunnel vision for any entrepreneur because that keeps you from looking at reality and what's going on. And she literally was unblinking. That's one of her hallmarks, which meant she was staring down a tunnel her whole time, and anything that deviated from this vision was discounted and not taken seriously, and that was her downfall. It's when you start lying and committing fraud because that's your brain's way of dealing with not accepting reality. The other one was Travis Kalanick, and he was, by all accounts, a great entrepreneur, but a lousy CEO. His entrepreneur side was aggressive, take no prisoners. He was able to roll up multiple important municipalities that even like New York got rid of the taxis for all intents and purposes and allowed him to take over. Problem is when you don't go beyond the initial aggressiveness and competitiveness and turn your business into an organization that functions well, that has the sort of leadership it needs. Besides the fact that he never made money, the business model was faulty, pricing wasn't right, systems hadn't been fully thought through, in addition to the problem with the organization. He finally had to resign, and he was not reinstated like somebody like Sam Altman. So what happens when disruption becomes an identity, something that one chases instead of earning it? Well, tune in next week when I talk about two of the most famous ugly disruptors, Elon Musk and Sam Altman, to find out exactly which one earned it and which one is chasing it. And until then, subscribe so you don't miss it.